Next up, we have Gluski. Any of you from the Brighton community will no doubt think as fondly as we do on Ike. He's without a shadow of a doubt one of the most customer-focused consultants I've ever had the pleasure of meeting and working with. A Microsoft Teams expert, Ike will today help us unlock some of Teams' potential as an incredible communication and collaboration platform.
Welcome. My name is Ike Gluski, and today I'll try to introduce you to something that will help you to communicate more freely with your team, organize your work better, and fight with always happening distractions while at work. In other words, I'd like to introduce you to Microsoft Teams. Microsoft Teams is a part of Microsoft 365 productivity suite, known better as Office 365. So before we'll start discovering Teams, we first need to know what it is. Most people perceive Microsoft 365 as a quick jump forecast by Microsoft. They'll think that Microsoft took Word, PowerPoint, Excel and Outlook, stick them in a cloud, and instead of selling them as a product, they started to sell them as a subscription service to make us pay more. And I'm sorry, but if you think like this, you are simply wrong. Productivity suites consist of a number of products, from mentioned core products, Word, Excel, PowerPoint and Outlook, through ones such as Planner and To-Do to organize your tasks, and Sway, which is an alternative for PowerPoint that creates fantastic reports and presentations, to products like Power Apps and Power Automate on Graph, still called Flow, which you can use to create workflows and whole apps in a low-code way. And Teams, which we'll discuss today, is only a small piece of this huge productivity pie. So going back to the core question, what is Microsoft Teams? By far the best definition I know is a chat-based workspace with the possibility to work in Microsoft 365 Cloud. Teams were created in 2013 as a collaboration and communication hub and an evolution, upgrade from Skype for Business. And by the way, if you're still using Skype for Business, it will be shut down 31st July 2021 as it's taken over by Teams. After that time, it will no longer be accessible nor supported. So if you need help with planning your upgrade to Teams, get in touch. I've put my email address at the end of the presentation. Great thing about Teams is the fact that it can be integrated with all Microsoft products, which you saw before, but also with the non-Microsoft ones as well. Thanks to this diversity and flexibility, Teams quickly became a platform of choice for 93 out of Fortune 100 and also 45 million users daily. If all those huge companies are using it, you probably want to test it as well. So how to get Microsoft Teams? If you are already a Microsoft 365 user, just check the Office app. You should see the purple icon with T somewhere over there. If you can't find it, ask your IT department. When you will find it, simply install the app. If you are not a user yet, check out the Teams website at teams.microsoft.com. You will be able to quickly get the version available for you. There is even a free version of Teams and also one prepared especially for education. Set up the account and you're ready to use the web app. Also, you can download the desktop and mobile apps. Here's an important fact. Microsoft Teams is basically a platform-agnostic software. You can get them on all of the major operating systems. That means that your work is not limited to any location. Versions for iOS and Android looks and function almost the same as the desktop app. But where they lack something like uploading files directly, which you can do by using OneDrive app, they add features specific for mobile versions. Teams Mobile have integrated Office Lens, which optimizes your camera capabilities to scan documents or whiteboards in text-focused ways. Only on Teams Mobile you can send audio messages, which we all know and love from other platforms, which are amazing on the go. And you can share your location, which may be helpful if you would like to meet somewhere on the city or brag about your exercise progress. Find Teams and how to get them. Now is the time to get yourself a bit more familiar with the functionalities that Teams gives you. The main features of Teams are communication, collaboration, organization, business applications, and so on. But before we will jump into details, just go and play with the app. You'll be invited to create teams, invite friends. Well, the onboarding is pretty well done in this one. Start with checking all the buttons, menus. Everything you will create now will probably get corrected later and even deleted. It does not matter. What is important for you is to familiarize yourself with the app. Try to understand what is where and why it's there, and then try to understand how you can use the platform to the fullest. A lot of now users whom I onboarded were skeptical at the beginning, but now they absolutely love Teams, not only for the easy to use menus and so on, but also for all the possibilities that Teams give them. And there's quite a lot of them, what hopefully will be clear after this presentation. But let's get back to the features for now. The first I want to talk about, and the most important one, is communication. It's the main reason for Teams to exist. As a replacement for Skype for Business and Microsoft Classroom, Teams needs to fulfill every communication need you have, and it does. You can have private chats in a messenger fashion, one-on-one or with the group of colleagues. You can also name the chat so you know what's where. You can create teams and channels. They are your main working space. Inside you can have conversations about the certain departments or specific projects. Additionally, you can work together in apps or on files. You can have calls, internal or external, and video conferences, and even instant meetings. If you have your telephony system hooked up, you can send text messages and have your standard calls through Teams as well. Update from April 2020 brought a long-awaited customizable background, so the coolest background of them all game is on. You can invite friends and clients as guests from the outside of your organization to communicate and collaborate with them on ongoing projects and files. And lastly, you can host live events like webinars and lectures for up to 10,000 participants. In terms of communication, the only thing that doesn't come out of the box is doorbell. But that said, it can be easily hooked up using PowerUp. Next feature is collaboration. When we talk with each other without a specific subject, most likely we are having a chit chat. There is absolutely nothing wrong with that, but it doesn't help our productivity, does it? So to avoid time wasting, it's much better to discuss files, or even better, speed up the work by working on them together in the same time while on a call. You can do that. What I especially like is the fact that you can share the file to work on not only in chat, but also in channel or even a whole team. That gives us flexibility to utilize talents across the board and delegate part of tasks to person best suited to it. Additionally, sometimes we want to ask about opinion about the progress we're making. Instead of sharing a print screen or saving file and sending it over, we can simply call a colleague or organize an instant meetings and share a screen and catch all the opinions in split second. That brings us to organization. Microsoft Teams is the workspace you'll love for its organized structure. How many times you spent 30 minutes looking for something in conversations or in meeting notes or going through endless directories on your laptop? How much time did you spend on getting back on track after that? Wouldn't it be better to stop this nonsense and have the files right where you need them? Wouldn't you prefer to mark and save needed messages from your conversations? All the files, all the conversations and all the marked messages are precisely where you want them, exactly when you need them. No more distractions and stress, just pleasant, productive work. At this point, I normally hear voices about application used on daily basis to do this or that. Obviously, each one of us have our own routines, habits and favorite apps. I'm also aware that most of us need to keep track of various feeds of information to be able to stay on top of things. That's why at the beginning I mentioned that Microsoft Teams can be connected to Microsoft and non-Microsoft products. What does it mean is a vast catalog of apps created by Microsoft and Microsoft partners that you can integrate into Teams. Thanks to that, you personalize Teams to have all the functionalities you need. To put that into perspective, JFDI has its own app that can be integrated into Teams. It's called Advark. It's a business process management tool that lives in Teams. Thanks to Advark, we expanded our and our clients' Teams functionality by adding an easy-to-use system that can be used as a sales pipeline or onboarding process management tool. Thanks to these integrations, possibilities are basically endless. And last but definitely not least is safety. We are all concerned about our data, from vulnerable information which gives us advantage over competition to GDPR policies we need to comply with. When everything is done online, we need to be sure that our data security is not outdated. All the files and conversations in Teams live behind the security wall of SharePoint. Additionally, Microsoft 365 supports multi-factor authentication, so you don't have to worry about unwanted users on your accounts. SharePoint complies with all the safety standards around the world, including GDPR, and is updated weekly. Simply put, your data is safe. I hope that after those few minutes, you have a better understanding of Microsoft Teams. It is probably not a big secret by now that I really like to work in Teams. So if you would like to explore the ways that Microsoft Teams can enhance your productivity or would like to know more about Advark, don't be shy. Otherwise, do not forget to connect me on LinkedIn. Thanks for listening.